Hello, welcome to this session about our course to Brazil for the new PMBA program. We'd like to start by introducing ourselves. I'm Iris Spurgeon. I'm professor in the management department and I am director of the MBA program. My background is in international management, intercultural effectiveness, and alliances. And I bring a perspective of management and the organization to this course. And I'd like to welcome my colleague, Tony.
Tony Kashevsky. I'm Associate Professor of Natural and Applied Sciences, and I specialize in environmental health, health systems, and vector ecology, specifically in the tropics. So,
Thanks. And Tony and I are really excited about this program. We're running it together. And we'd like to tell you just a little bit about why we think this course is really important. So the course is designed to bring together the sciences with management practice to really engage directly with the challenges of balancing environmental preservation with economic activity. So we really place you, the learner, at the intersection of ecological systems, management strategy, and cultural knowledge.
so my role is to add scientific detail, nuance, and context to the discussion. I'll focus on the more ecological, environmental concepts, not in the abstract, but actually how they link directly to bottom line economic activities, including the functional relevance of biodiversity. What does biodiversity mean? How does it work? The idea of ecosystem services, biodiversity plugs into that. And also, very importantly, right now, the regional links between changes happening on the ground to regional and global climate change, including the tipping points and domino effects that can happen, leading to larger consequences from seemingly smaller, events. Mm.
That's great. And I really bring the organizational and the management perspective to this. If we think about wicked problems like the climate crisis, these really create business challenges, migration of people, supply chain disruptions, crisis mitigation, resource allocations, and all of these are decisions that happen within an organizational structure, but with partnerships outside of the organization. And so solving these problems really means seeking out new opportunities and innovations, but organizations don't do that in a vacuum. They do that through collaboration with partners. And those partners are often in very different settings than the organization is in. If you look at the backgrounds on our screen, the background in mine is the industrial city of Manaus. Manaus is on the Rio Negro, right at the meeting of the Rio Negro and the Amazon rivers. And Tony's background is the Amazon River, which is, if you look across from this photo of Manaus, this is what you will see on the other side. And so there's really this intersection. And organizations have to learn how to function within that network of stakeholders, including governments, social structures, infrastructures, support services, and learning how to work with others, achieving mutually beneficial outcomes is a necessity in dealing with these wicked problems such as climate crisis. So just to tell you a little bit about the academic components of the course, there are two pre-sessions that will include readings and a cultural mapping assignment. During the 8-day trip, you'll engage with local partners on action learning projects. So you're participating with locals in co-learning, co-creating solutions to problems. This will happen through site visits. We'll also have cultural events. You'll engage in shared reflection sessions, complete a biodiversity index exercise, and many other things on the trip. The trip is partly on land and partly on boat. Um, and part of the big component of the academic piece of this is this action learning project. And as part of that, You will work on this solution to a challenge faced by your partner during the week. And then at the end of the week, you will actually present to those project partners, as well as deliver an action project report. And then once you get home, there is a post-trip reflection paper that is due. Tony, you want to start out with some cool aspects of the course?
Oh, what I really hope to be able to do is to help provide an immersive experience for students. And by immersive, I mean that literally in some cases, where swimming with pink dolphins and such, but also in the figurative sense, just experiencing something new, experiencing what rainforests are about. We don't have to rough it to do that. I mean, we'll be eating at nice restaurants, staying in nice places, and the boat is pretty nice. So it's not really, we're not camping, we're not roughing it, but we will experience what a rainforest is like. And rainforest species richness and the biodiversity really need to be experienced firsthand to be appreciated or even believed in some cases, because you pick any living thing in this region or natural product, and you'll find more varieties of it in rainforest than anywhere else in the world. And the Brazilian rainforest is particularly notable for that. And just for example, we might be visiting a farm, and on this farm, you'll most likely be sampling some fruits that you never knew existed before, and you go to a fruit market and you'll see things that you've never seen before. You go to a fish market and it's the same thing all over. You actually go to a restaurant and there'll be fish on the menu that you've never heard of that are absolutely delicious. So we'll have actually several, designed exercises during the course to kind of, help with the immersion and also do a little quantification of what actually, the richness of biodiversity means. So,
Thanks, Tony. And one of the things that I really appreciate about this trip is the people that you will meet. Global travel is about learning about yourself, and you do that by bumping into things that are different and talking to people who are different in different contexts. As Tony said, eating fish or eating fruit that, to us may not look like a piece of fruit. But I'm really struck by the people that I have met who really straddle our modernized world and the natural world, and these indigenous populations that survive within this natural world. For instance, some of the people that you will meet and work with on this trip, leaders of organizations who are directly working with locals to transform their reliance from illegal activities into regenerative community-led solutions like ecotourism and plant extractions to resource sustainable product development. I've learned a lot, for instance, about the cosmetic industry through this trip, and scientists who are working with the indigenous tribes to actually extract the essential oils and materials that go into our skincare product, but then turning that into a commercialized product that we would recognize and that we would buy. There was another one that really struck me, an organization that's using blockchain to protect extraction data that's gathered from indigenous communities. We can only manage and find solutions for things that we can measure, but that data has to be stored somewhere. And how do you protect the communities from that data being abused or accessed illegally? So we're both really excited about this trip. We bring a very interdisciplinary perspective to it and offer that same learning environment to you. So we'd really like to welcome you to the Professional MBA at Bentley University. We're really excited to have you join us.